I'm the acting chair of CNWL, and we've got lots of fabulous information and updates to help you understand what we've been doing in CNWL. Let's whiz on to hear from a patient, from Alison, on her experience of community adult rehabilitation services.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sunod Jacob. I'm the lead for Community Adult Rehab Services in Hillingdon. CAR service deliver variety of rehabilitation programs within the community, and we receive on an average about 600 referrals per month and about over 2,000 face-to-face activities for our service users. And we have Alison and her husband Howell here to feedback and their views on the service. One of our service, which is Stroke Early Supported Discharge Service, which is a relatively new service added on to us in 2016. And the service mainly aims at supporting stroke survivors who are in hyperacute stroke unit and facilitate their early discharge to the community and provide intense rehabilitation in the community of Hillingdon through our services. And it is a collaborative project between 5 organizations in Hillingdon, along with London Borough of Hillingdon, us as lead provider CNWL, and Hillingdon Hospital and the third sector organizations in Hillingdon. So far, we have, on an average, we support about 140 stroke survivors through this pathway. And one of our main aim and the performance indicators itself for the service is patient feedback. And I'm proud to say we have been achieving it at 100% since it started in 2016. And moreover to say that one of our service users last year has been gone above and beyond and went for a charity run and raised about £3,000 for the service to get us, as Claire was mentioning, digitalized more to support their rehabilitation in the community.
So on a day-to-day basis, we are an NDT team. We have a team consisting of physios, occupational therapists, speech and language therapists, a consultant who leads us, psychologists, admin and rehab support workers. We do receive our referrals mainly from hyperacute stroke unit and acute stroke units. Maximum length of stay within our service is 6 weeks. The main aim is to we would assess patients within 24 hours of a working day from where the patient's getting discharged from. And our main aim is to try and complete an assessment, identify goals, provide that intensive treatment, do lots of joint sessions with families and carers, and looking at referring on to our other community team services. I'm sure as Sinoj mentioned, on an average we get around 140 referrals on a yearly basis, and I'm pretty sure we do have lots of MDT meetings on a weekly basis, which is led by a consultant. And we are very proud to provide this service. I'm pretty sure you would be eager to hear from Alison, so I'll pass it on to Alison, who has actually used our service.
As you know, my name's Alison, and I'd like you to tell you about my journey, how it began with the ESD team. My journey began on the 13th of June 2023. After a long day at work, I came home, went to the garden and to relax with a glass of wine. Unfortunately, I felt pins and needles in my arm and I was unable to take hold of my wine glass, so that I knew something wasn't right. After lots of deep breaths, nothing changed, and I managed to call my husband to come home. My speech was slurred and I had pins and needles up my arm. An ambulance was called and they arrived and they took me to Northwick Park Hospital, where after resting, blood tests and a CT scan, my symptoms resolved and I was sent home. Unfortunately, the following morning, the speech difficulties returned with stuttering and stammering, and I was again admitted to Northwick Park. After further tests, a CT scan confirmed the presence of a blocked artery in my neck. There was no intervention that the vascular team could do as it was too close to the brain. I was discharged home on the Friday night with the assurance I would be contacted by the Hillingdon ESD, the early support discharge team. On Monday, I received my call from Purvey and my next journey began. I had visits from physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and a visit from the clinical psychologist. I presented with a severe stammer and repetition and a slow speech rate. With daily visits from the team, I learned techniques to assist me to achieve fluency and to be able to speak at a normal rate during short conversations. I was taught fluency techniques, relaxation, breathing, and slow speech strategies. I also practiced role play scenarios with them, and with continued support from the team, my speech continued to improve. I would make speech plans and prepare scripts to help me maintain fluency in simple conversations. My first challenge on my own was to go to the hairdressers to book an appointment. After lots of deep breaths, I succeeded and I didn't book myself in for a perm. My long-term goal was always to return to work. As a receptionist, I knew that would be a challenge, but with the skills and tools acquired by the ESD team, I returned to work firstly in a non-customer facing role at the end of July. My speech continued to improve and I started back at my reception desk in September, where I'd always aimed to be. I never realised how hard it was to talk when you have to think about it. Unfortunately, I had another stroke last year, again when my speech was affected. And again, the ESD were there to offer me speech therapy and support. Fortunately, my recovery was much quicker, and with my knowledge from the previous sessions, my speech improved and I again reached my goal to return to work 6 weeks later. Without the support of the ESD, my confidence and belief that things could and would get better would have been knocked, but the team encouraged me and made me believe I could get back to my old self. If I do ever have a problem with my speech, I now have the tools to help me reset and start again. I also had a visit from Dr. Phil Pocock, and if possible, I want you to show a picture that he drew for me. I don't know if you can actually see it, I don't think you will, but basically it was the path my life was on prior to my stroke and the path my stroke took me on. Both paths led to sunshine, either the old path or a new path, but both led to sunshine and hope. That picture is kept on my kitchen wall up to now. My message to anyone who will meet the ESD team, they believe in you, so believe in yourself and always follow your path to sunshine. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I want to say a big thank you to all the ES team I met along my journey, and thanks to them, I'm here talking to you all tonight. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That was very moving. And we could hear right from the beginning how wonderful you were at speaking. That's a fabulous story, and you really brought it home to us what it felt like and what was achieved. So thank you so much. This may have been your biggest challenge, and you were wonderful.
It's just one other very quick point, which is, and in a sense it goes to what Alison said, and I too was very moved by what you said, very moved and totally inspired. And you hear something like that and you go, and this is why I get up day after day for 43 years and try harder tomorrow than I did yesterday. It's because it's absolutely inspiring. And I think the point I wanted to make about our communities and this whole left shift is our people, our own patients and their families are a tremendous asset actually in their own healthcare and their own recovery. And I think we do some really great work with our peer support workers, with charity partners, with volunteers. We heard a breastfeeding volunteer this morning. I think we could do a lot more, because whenever one looks at patient satisfaction, invariably it's linked to agency and feeling in control of your own recovery with the expert help alongside you. So people want expertise, they want to know what world class looks like, but actually it's a partnership, and I think we're good at that. I think some of our services are excellent at it, but we need to be excellent at it everywhere. It'll make economic sense, it makes patient satisfaction sense, and it is one of the best ways in which we'll be able to shape our services to be appropriate for diverse communities, because nobody knows really what makes them better or keeps them well better than our own patients do. And you know, Alison, it was lovely hearing your story, and I'm so proud of the team that helped you, but you did that. And that probably is, if I look at highlights in the year, it's when I hear from people like you. And I just think the best services are really great at harnessing the input of carers, of individuals themselves and their communities. So let's get really good at that everywhere, all of the time, I think is a challenge I'd throw us.